Good day all. Again, thank you all for participating in this webinar together with Gaurav and myself, Alphonse. We're extremely privileged to have all of you here, and thanks for taking the time out of your daily schedule to sit with us as we discuss how RPA is revolutionizing business process automation in SAP, and most importantly, how to use this opportunity. I think the attendees are flowing in. So just one important note to everyone. All the questions will be answered at the end of the webinar. So if you have any queries, you can, as and when you have those queries, you can add it into the, provide it in the chat box, and we will answer it towards the end for all of you. Just giving you an introduction about the speakers. I am Alphonse Raj David. I am the marketing head of Kaar Technologies, and I also handle the digital transformation evangelism for the SAP solutions here at Kaar Tech. I have managed SAP digital transformation journeys of enterprises in both the United Kingdom and for some enterprises in the Middle East, most predominantly in UAE and Saudi Arabia. I help enterprises on new tech adoption and working with the businesses on change management and helping them adopt and utilize the said tech. The other speaker for this webinar is Mr. Gaurav Kandelwal, who heads the K Insights or the Digital Transformation Business Unit of Kaar Technologies, and he has incredible expertise in SAP CPI, PIPO, ABAP, Fiori, SAC. You call it. In the last 10 years, he has been at the forefront of SAP innovative technologies, and currently he's spearheading almost all the RPA and AIML implementations Kaar Technologies has in the GCC region. An interesting note is Gaurav Kandelwal has recently been part of a project which has been awarded the Gold SAP Quality Award in the business transformation category, not only in the Middle East regional space, but also in the regional EMEA awards, where the best projects across Europe, North America, and Middle East compete together, and he has actually won the SAP Quality Awards by competing against business units in Europe, North America, and Middle East. Moving forward, the most important thing is the takeaways from this webinar. To give you the personas for whom this webinar has actually been constructed for, this webinar will be most useful for those enterprises and the LOB heads and the finance heads, the HR heads, as well as the IT team of those enterprises who are using SAP or are planning to use SAP. This webinar will give you an idea on how you can leverage your current SAP system investments cost effectively, while also adding new generation solutions so that you can transform the way your business is done. In this webinar, we will talk about K Insights, why currently most partners are having separate entities to handle the digital transformation projects, the Beyond Edge solutions for customers, and why that is necessary. We will talk a little bit about the incremental digital transformation philosophy, which customers are using to become an intelligent enterprise, how robotic process automation fits into the larger intelligent enterprise framework, and how it also fits into your business process automation storyline. After which, Gaurav Kandelwal will give you an introduction into SAP iRPA and how it integrates seamlessly into your overall SAP ecosystem, along with some of the LOB specific use cases, and how SAP iRPA is different from the other competitors like UiPath and Automation Anywhere in the market. Towards the end, I'll also sit and discuss with you some of the factors we need to consider for building a business use case for the kind of bots you need to use within your organization. That being said, before we get into the webinar, let me just give you a short, for those who do not know about us, a short introduction. Kaar Technologies is a pure play SAP services player. We have had a predominant position in the Middle East, and over the last few years, we have been expanding aggressively in Europe and North America. The who's who of enterprises in the oil and gas and manufacturing companies across the globe work with us. Over the last 15 years, we have worked over 1,400 SAP projects across 10 plus global locations, and we have a team of 750 plus SAP consultants to manage these projects. Of course, we have been featured in Gartner. We are one of the top 5 consulting firms in the Middle East. And most importantly, we are one of the world's largest pure play SAP services player. The simple reason why this happened is that the 4 founders, Mr. Marvin, Mr. Ratna, Mr. Selva, and Mr. Guardian George, are SAP consultants themselves, who were interestingly were also college mates. This company was their college, it was that entrepreneurial dream which was created out of the dorms of their college, and right now it is a 750 employee large enterprise. This slide just gives you a little bit of an idea of our clientele across the globe, from KSA, Kuwait, US, UK, Netherlands. We have life sciences expertise, we have oil and gas expertise, we have manufacturing expertise. We have actually worked with most of the major Fortune 100 firms in the Middle East. Now, coming down to the SAP Quality Awards, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? Kaar Technologies, the implementation expertise of Kaar Technologies can be provided by the fact that we have been keeping on winning SAP Quality Awards for almost every year of our existence. Best part is that in 2018 we won 3 awards, and in 2019 we not only won 2 awards, we also won the Gold Award for the Middle Eastern region, while we also won the Regional Award, competing against all the business units in Europe, North Africa, and Middle East, which incidentally is the project Mr. Gaurav is a part of. Now, as previously explained, this slide also gives you a little bit explanation of the kind of end-to-end SAP services that we do. Most importantly, and of particular interest for all of you, is this intelligent services block, wherein we provide, which is also the focus of this conversation, wherein we'll be providing a lot of inputs about SAP Leonardo, especially the SAP iRPA component in this intelligent services. Now, in this webinar, the first thing we need to understand is, you might ask this question: why are we focusing especially on SAP iRPA? Because it is a completely new way of doing business, both for the service providers especially, and also for enterprises. Just have a look at this slide. SAP has more than 140 products, which can be split into these 3 groups. You have your core products like SAP S/4HANA, which is your finance, which digitizes your finance and logistics part, and also you have your SAP HANA, which handles your database. These 3 solutions handles your finance, logistics, and the data storage needs of your organization. That is the core needs required to run an enterprise. Then you have your edge solutions. You have your SAP SuccessFactors, you have your SAP Ariba to handle procurement, you have Fieldglass to handle your contract workers, and then you have Concur to handle travel and expense management. Then comes your beyond edge solutions like Leonardo, blockchain, iRPA, and conversational AI. Gentlemen and ladies who are in this webinar, can you see a difference in the solutions from core, edge, and beyond edge? While these solutions like S/4HANA and SuccessFactors, when you speak out the name, you know intuitively that this solution is geared towards a particular use case and towards a particular need for an organization. But in the cases of blockchain, iRPA, and conversational AI, whilst they are extremely high-end tech which can provide enormous value and ROI in the enterprise, they do not have specific use cases assigned to their name. They are beyond edge technologies, and these names, blockchain, iRPA, and conversational AI, is just that, technology. It doesn't denote use cases by itself, and this is a major change in how we operate within the B2B enterprise software ecosystem. We are moving from a place where we had solutions which provided answers for use cases to technologies which can provide you enormous value, but we need to sit together and build the use case, which means a different approach to these solutions is needed, both from an enterprise perspective and from your IT services provider perspective. And that is the reason why K Insights was born. We call K Insights as a world's only SAP focused uh, intelligent services provider. By intelligent services, we mean AI/ML, RPA, blockchain, etc., etc. But in for this particular webinar, we are an intelligent RPA service provider. Why do we say that? And why does this term also use the word only? Because unlike most firms, we bring together not just the beyond core expertise. There are many enterprises or service providers out there who just beyond edge solutions like RPA. But here, without understanding of the core solutions, that is a reason why you can hear that many RPA projects are failing in the marketplace as well. This team this specific team works on RPA backed up by that 15 plus years of experience which Kaar Technologies has had by working on core and edge technologies. Gaurav in the future slides will explain to you in detail some of the use cases which can be built on top of the edge solutions like SuccessFactors and core solution like S4HANA and HANA. So you will see how this team has leveraged the core expertise to give you low risk free transformation using beyond edge technologies. You can ask me the question, another question: how is this K Insights team different from other teams? K Insights team, with the help of SAP IR, integrates both artificial intelligence and process automation. While RPA is only about process automation, machine learning is about learning from past data. SAP iRPA is one of the very few RPA tools in the marketplace, which from the ground up has been built using an AI flavor. So it just is not a process automation tool, but an artificial intelligence enabled process automation tool. So this team combines both ML and RPA that we not only automate SAP processes, but also provide real-time insights and automated decision making with the relevant state-of-the-art AI ML algorithms. Now, in this team, there's one more thing which we need to add as well. Not only do they focus on the implementation part, they also have a much more larger strategic picture called the future of work, wherein we work together with the team to provide the right combination of tech, which will also have a unique solution delivery methodology built on top of the incremental digital transformation philosophy, so that we are able to provide you solutions in a completely different way than the normal SAP Edge and core solutions have been implemented, while also using the philosophy of incremental digital transformation to provide quick ROIs and fast time to value. You might ask this question: what is this incremental digital transformation philosophy? It's nothing but a new path to being a digital native enterprise. Gentlemen and ladies, as you're all aware, digital natives are those who are born in the who are born post 1998, and they are the first generation of the 21st century. While the internet age was born during the time of the millennials, the digital natives were born in the internet age. And we as enterprises are now, right now, for good or for worse, whether we are born in the internet age or not, we are supposed to live, thrive, and survive in the digital age. For that, we need to become a digital native enterprise. In order to become a digital native enterprise, all enterprises over the last few years have been moving towards having large digital transformation projects. But the way how these digital transformation projects are being handled has changed. To put it in a simple way, global uncertainty is putting multi-year big bang digital transformation projects at risk. This is falling out of fashion. Even before COVID-19, the pandemic put a stall on our day-to-day activities. Trade wars, profit squeeze, increased regulation was putting its brakes on multi-year digital transformation projects. The primary reason for this was that there were massive capital outlays spread over multiple years for these transformation projects, and this was not in sync with the current business environment. where fast expansion was happening and even faster retrenchment. Nowadays, we are seeing companies get into and out of countries within 2 to 3 years, which was not possible even 3 years or 4 years ago. M&As are happening at a very fast clip. Business units are being bought and sold. And in this time period, we are unable to have a multi-year plan. All this being said, companies still want to do digital transformation without this uncertainty of multi-year projects. They want projects which can transform their businesses and provide value. And this is the reason why they are turning to incremental digital transformation. Incremental digital transformation focuses on next generation solutions like RPA and AI/ML to help you unlock value from your current systems while also helping you create and manage new business models. You can ask me, how is this definition different from a big bang digital transformation storyline? Unlike big bang digital transformation projects, which has a top-down approach, incremental digital transformation has a bottom-up approach. It focuses on locating those specific end user pain points to provide next generation digital solutions. While in big bang digital transformation projects, you have a top down approach wherein you first think in the tactical level, in the strategic level, bring in the plans on what you want to do for each business units, and then towards the end speak about digitally transforming specific business processes. Here we turn this process on its head. We work with the customers and we look at the specific pain points which the end users are facing, and we start bringing in solutions which can fit into these, help them manage these pain points so that you will get fast ROI and time to value. By doing this using an enterprise grade B2B, by doing this on an enterprise grade B2B platform, we also make sure that the strategic needs are met. So here, using incremental transformation and the maturity of firms like SAP in providing enterprise B2B platforms, you can be rest assured that you can get fast time to value while also not sacrificing your security and needs of having an enterprise platform in place. This being said, the K Insights team has multiple tools to make this incremental digital transformation happen. One of the best tools we have currently in our kitty is SAP iRPA, or incremental digital for incremental digital transformation. The best part here is SAP iRPA solutions can be implemented in 1 to 2 months. For that, i.e., each bot which is built on top of SAP iRPA can be created and deployed within 2 months. And that, gentlemen and ladies, is something unheard of in the B2B space. You can get your time, you can get an idea, implement it, and go live within 2 months and completely transform your organization. Now, this incremental digital transformation philosophy has a huge part to play in the creation of an intelligent enterprise framework using robotic process transformation. Just have a look at this slide. This slide, you could see that it's a pretty self-explanatory slide where we're seeing that automation is taking over all the repetitive tasks, so humans are spending more time on high-value tasks, right? A simple slide, but this simple slide has a 50-year history beyond it. To put it to you simply, all enterprises have 3 major kinds of activities they focus on. The first one is the tactical or repetitive activities. The second is the operational activities, while third may be the strategic tasks. While tactical tasks consist of activities such as data input, copy paste, data validation, etc. Operational tasks are at the level of revenue making and decision making activities, while strategic consists of vision holding activities. Over the last 30 years, we are primarily focused on 3 things: digitization, consolidation, and integration. Digitization meaning we have taken all the business processes which has been primarily on paper and brought it into a digital format. Second is consolidation, which is bringing the data from various departments and various different entities and consolidating it into a single source of truth. The third is integration, which is you actually bring all your different departments together, your different IT systems together, so they will converse with each other. But then humans were still needed for the last mile data entry. Although we have systems to consolidate all the purchase order data, and also these systems can give you analytics on aging, etc., you are still dependent on a human being to collect the data and input it into the system. In this scenario, you're just like the logistics firms like the Amazon, the UPS of the world, which all suffers from a last mile delivery problem. We have the last mile human data entry problem. Think about the amount of time each one of you would have spent. So sitting in front of your computer at the end of the day, keying in data, looking into your email, taking out a PDF, reading the data and putting it into your ERP system. Simply put, whatever be the advancements we have done in computing technologies, we are still focused on using the humans the same way we did 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we spent time using, we input the data into paper. Now we are inputting it into the system. Using RPA, intelligent enterprises can remove the need for humans to do tactical work. So as you see, as this comes into play, in intelligent enterprises, more and more we can spend time doing higher value tasks rather than lower value solutions. Now, just to give you a glimpse of the intelligent enterprise framework, you can actually look at it that there are 3 frameworks here. One is your intelligent enterprise suite, intelligent technologies and digital transformation. Here we'll be specifically talking about RPA in the intelligent technology framework. So to have an intelligent enterprise, you need 3 key components. You need an enterprise intelligent suite, intelligent tech, and a digital platform. The RPA solution we are talking about today is one component within your intelligent the tech framework. Now, with all these introductions, talking about RPA, RPA, simply put, automatically replicates these tedious human actions that have no added value. Rather than being a sales guy who at the end of the day comes into the system, looks at the purchase order which has been sent across by the client and sitting and putting it in the CRM system. If you have a bot which does it automatically, think about the amount of time the salesperson would save, that rather than doing in a data key in activity, he or she would be focusing on getting in new sales, which will have a huge impact on top line or bottom line. That being said, RPA is of 3 different types: in unattended, attended, and integration. In unattended RPA, you remove the human from the mix, meaning you have fully automated processes where robots are working autonomously with human supervision only. So one of the examples would be this. Now, I worked with a customer recently wherein they had around 16 members who just had to sit and get in the data from, get in the purchase orders and key in into the system. What we had done over here is that we created a bot which can get in the data. All these purchase orders are 90% of the time come in through email. There is still a 10% which comes in through fax. So for this 90%, what we had done was the bot will go into the email, read the PO, and automatically create the purchase order. In terms of faxes, if it is scanned and given into the system using OCR, the bot will also read it and create the purchase orders. So these 16 people, rather than sitting and keying in data, can work on following up on these purchase orders, can do higher value added work. We have freed up human employees free them up from doing tactical level work, so they can focus more on the company's top line and bottom line in terms of making sure whether the aging is taken care of, in terms of the other KPIs and KRAs, rather than doing non-value added work. Now, the next thing is your attended RPA, which is your partially automated process where robots are co-working with human beings. This can also be called your virtual assistants, wherein you do a particular activity. For example, you are a finance accounts officer, wherein you have got the bank statements from the from your bank. Once you have it, you need to also send in the bank statements into your system, which is a very difficult task because you have your 10-15 banks and you need to collect it and one by one upload it. Now, when you have collected this data, you can just switch on this RPA and say, when you see a trigger event happening, you just switch on this RPA say, hey, take these bank account statements and upload it into my ERP system. It will do it on its own. What these bots, attended RPAs, are nothing but virtual assistants to help you handle your day-to-day job. And the third part is integration systems, which is of high interest, especially to the IT teams and service providers like us, because here you can use the RPA tech to create bridges between applications. One of the best use cases here is data migration, wherein you can move in the data from point A to point B, which is from A system to B system. You do not need to have actually a data management team of 20 to 30 people doing it. You can actually have RPA define the data management system within the bot, that it will take the data and put it into your correct tables, so you can upload it into the system. And RPA is also used to create temporary interfaces between two particular systems as well. All this being said, it's also very important to note that RPA comes before AI. I know that right now most companies are heavily focusing on AI, especially in times like now. But understand this: without without automating your tactical activities, moving in and using AI to manage your operational activities will not actually work out. Without RPA, you will not get the correct ROI needed from your AI investments. And also, put it this way: in order to move your company across the digital maturity curve, you can first bring in RPA bots to sensitize or build that acceptance of beyond edge solutions within the firm, bring in the change management slowly, and then bring in the AI solutions. So you can use RPA as a form of a change management tool as well on path to an AI. But get this: RPA is your gateway drug to AI. Implement RPA right, your AI service, your AI activities, or your AI project initiatives will succeed for sure. That's the reason why Gartner calls it one of the top 3 terms on top 3 search terms, and it also says that it is one of the top 3 investment priorities for C-suite globally. And this market is exploding. It's expanding at the rate of $10 billion, $10 billion year on year, and interestingly, there is no clear market leader. Now, before we get into what is SAP iRPA and how it can transform your landscape, let me share some use cases on how RPA can fits into your business transformation story. I could see in the attendees list that there were a lot of personas coming in from the finance department, from the HR department, and few from the IT department as well. So with this in case, I just put up this particular slide, which can give all of you a little something. What I have done is put up some use cases and by vertical. Get this: RPA can be present throughout your organization. RPA cuts across verticals and horizontals, and it is just limited by your imagination on kind of use cases which you can create there. From the finance department to the customer service automation to procurement to help desk automation, RPA can help you in every step of your business process automation activities. Some use cases can include stuff like financial closing, claims processing, managing bank statements, customer onboarding, IT service help desk ticket automation, ticket assignment automation, purchase order automation, etc. With all this kind of bots and use cases in play, you might be actually wondering, what next? What kind of tools can I use to make this a reality? Building use cases and brainstorming is one part of the story, but what is actually required to make it happen? What are the tools or the platform in the market, especially me being a part of the SAP ecosystem? How can I leverage my current SAP investments and also move forward to use an enterprise grade platform to make all this into a reality? For this, you have SAP iRPA. Now I move over to provide to Gaurav to take over the presentation from here. Gaurav, the panel is all yours.
Thank you, Alphonse, for a wonderful introduction on RPA and talking about how an organization can adopt an incremental digital transformation. I believe my screen is visible. Hello, everyone. This is Gaurav here. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm currently heading K Insights team. As Alphonse said, uh, in a K Insights team, we work on all the beyond edge technologies, not limited to RPA, but artificial intelligence, machine learning based applications, blockchain, and conversational AI as well. We work, we build and deploy applications on SAP Cloud Platform. So yeah, to all who don't know what is SAP Cloud Platform, SAP Cloud Platform or SCP, it is an platform as a service offering from SAP. In my opinion, this is a one-stop solution for your digital transformation journey. Why? Because SCP provides all the services starting from requiring the services which are required for a web development or a mobile development, a complete integration suite, or maybe an extension to your current SAP landscape, services required for an extension to your current SAP landscape, uh, intelligent business process management tools. Apart from that, it provides you all the beyond it solutions like iRPA, SAP Leonardo, which has machine learning foundations, IoT solutions, blockchain, and conversational AI, and many more services. So that is the reason I said it could be your one-stop solution for your digital transformation journey. In this half of the session, we are going to talk about SAP iRPA. What is SAP iRPA? What are the product capabilities and features iRPA has? How iRPA is positioned compared to other market competitors, and then we will discuss few of the use cases which as a Cartech we are receiving from our customers. Uh, so to introduce about SAP iRPA, SAP iRPA or an intelligent robotic process automation is a service on SCP which you can use to design an intelligent bot. So far, Alphonse has been using the word bot, but what I said intelligent bot. What is the difference? Let's take an example. Let's take an example of a supplier invoice. As a customer, almost all the organizations they receive an invoices from the suppliers. Maybe most of them are receiving from emails, or few of them receive via other channels. So what an employee does, employee downloads the invoice in the form which is there in the form of PDF, reads the data, let's say an invoice date, who is the supplier, what is the amount, goes to the system, it could be SAP or non-SAP system, and post the invoice. So there is a human intervention, but this is the manual step or the repeated work which employee has to do for all the invoices which employee is receiving. Now, as a we can design a bot which can read your email, which can download an invoice from the email, which can read all the data from the invoices. Then it can go to your end system, could be SAP, non-SAP, and enter all the data and post transaction. So this is nothing but a bot. A bot is a program, you can say, which can mimic a human action and which can automate a repeated or manual task. But then what is an intelligent robot? Now let's assume a scenario. You are working with hundreds of suppliers and you are getting hundreds of formats for the invoices. Now, on one fine day, one supplier has changed the format. What happens? Your bot would stop working. But that is where the machine learning capabilities of SAP Cloud Platform comes in. As a training set, we can provide all the possible invoice formats to the uh, machine learning, which is nothing but SAP Leonardo service of SCP. Now, what happens is next time, if there is a change in the invoice, based on the previous transaction and experiences, the bot can decide, okay, this is the field which I should take for an invoice date. Maybe earlier customer used to write a text date, but now they have changed invoice date, or maybe they have changed the place of the field. So a bot can easily identify. You really don't have to do any change in your bot or in your program. So that is nothing but an intelligent bot. SAP Cloud Platform provides you a mechanism to design such intelligent bot, which can have a machine learning, artificial intelligence, NLP or natural language processing capabilities. Apart from that, there is a really interesting functionality view which you get is a chatbots. Nowadays, if you see, almost all the organizations they are going on the chatbots to reduce efforts on their call centers or maybe an IT support. The chatbots they are designing for employees or vendors or customers. Let's take a small example. Resetting the password in your SAP system or any system. This is a very small job. employee just your admin has to go in the system, just reset the password. But let's say you have 500,000 or 10,000 employees, and every day you are getting 50, 60 requests. What your employee has to do? He has to do the same job every time. Employee has to do the same job every time. Employee has to take a maybe as an employee who wants to reset the password would send an email to your admin. Admin has to read that email, log into the system, and set the reset the password. Now there is a chatbot. You just assume a scenario where employee goes in the chatbot and say, "Hey, I want to reset my password." What chatbot can do? Chatbot can trigger your bot, your RPA bot. So chatbot can trigger your RPA bot. Your RPA bot can go to your system and can reset the password on your behalf. You are eliminating the complete admin's part here, and you are making him available to do a productive task. That is the beauty of integrating your RPA with your chatbots. This is just one use case here I give. There can be many other use cases. Sometimes you have APIs. So definitely, if you have API, you can call your APIs from chatbot. But the scenarios where you do not have APIs, you can always design a bot and trigger from your chatbots. Now let's discuss about the components what iRPA provides. As a developer, to design a bot, you need a complete end-to-end environment. You need an end-to-end environment to design, to deploy, to run, and to monitor. IRP is a suite which provides all the components. So one of first components is a design environment. This we call it as a desktop studio. The bots are designed as a workflows, and believe me, those are this designing a bot is really easy in IRPA. You just have to design a workflow. These workflows are nothing but our traditional flow charts. Let's take an again example of supplier invoice. How do you divide those the complete process into steps? My first step, read an email, all the unread emails. Second step, if there is an unread email with invoice, read that invoice. Third, download the attachment from that email. Fourth, call your OCR service and read all the content out of attachment. Fifth, log into your system, end system. Sixth step, enter the data into the transaction. And seventh, post to the transaction. These are the steps at high level you will define, and the same steps you have to design as a workflow in your studio. So you can imagine it is so easy. You just have to drag and drop and put it. You are given with a wide range of connectors as well as activities to perform this task, like opening an email or calling an API or calling an OCR API or calling it your NLP's interface. On top of that, you get a predefined robot templates as well to make or to reduce your total efforts for a development. So this is the complete design environment as a part of IRP suite you get. The second component is a repository. As a developer, we all know it is mandatory to have all the versions of your bot, because once you move a bot into production, then whenever you do some change, you should know what was the previous change and what is the latest change. So IRPA or the central repository provides you a complete a version management functionality for your bot. And many a times the customer asks, okay, let's say I have designed a bot, how do you guarantee that this bot will be accessible by only my one employee? Let's say I have a very critical bot. What if the other employees access that bot? So IRPA as a tool provides you a security management where you can define the bot should run on which system. So even if someone tries to run bot on some different system, uh, you know the tool will not allow that. Apart from that, it provides a runtime environment. Alphonse explained you about attendant and unattended. In simple words, attended bot is a bot which employee has to trigger, wherein unattended bots are nothing but your job schedulers, which are already scheduled maybe a once a day or once an hour or once in a 7 days. And just it's a bot gets triggered, perform the task, and dies. So runtime environment provides an environment to run plus to do a scheduling of such unattended bots. Apart from that, it provides the channels to connect to AI chatbots, and it provides a load balancing capabilities as well. And the last component is control and monitoring tool. It is very much required to monitor what the bot is doing in this era of COVID-19, where we are doing a work from home, and there are bots running in your office which can definitely reduce your lot of workload in this kind of time. If some of the bot transactions are failing, then how do you come to know? And it is very much required, you should know if there are transactions failing. So uh, SAP iRPA provides you a complete monitoring dashboard where you can see what are the transactions failed, and what are the successful transactions. This monitoring tool as well as central repositories on cloud. So as a customer, I mean, many times we get a query from the customer saying that no, we have a policy that we don't store our data on cloud. We keep it on prem. We really don't want to go on cloud. Let me clarify one thing. SAP iRPA is a hybrid product where only these two components are on cloud, wherein your bot runs on your system on premise. So basically, you can decide what data should go on cloud or data should not at all go to cloud. I mean, it is in your hand. You can decide your business data should not go to the cloud; it should remain on prem. Or only, sorry, only the transaction details should go on cloud, like what are the successful or failure transaction. And then once as a user you come to know there are failure transaction, you can always go to your system and check the data. So let's talk about, so this were all the product capabilities what iRPA has. Now let's this is the slide which describes the what is the complete iRPA suite is all about. iRPA is the place where you can design a bot, you can execute a bot, you can design a on conversational AI, you can design a chatbot and you can integrate with RPA. Plus you can optimize you can optimize it via providing an artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. Now let's discuss how does this iRPA fit well into your SAP ecosystem. iRPA being a native SAP product provides many advantages compared to other available RPA products in the market. Being a native product, it provides out of box many connectors. Here, as a customer, you might be having one or more SAP systems in your landscape. On the left hand side, you can see an SAP system. But okay, let me clarify one thing. Here we are just showing an SAP S4 HANA, C4 HANA, SuccessFactor, Ariba, few of the system. But iRP as a product is compatible with all the systems, starting from your SAP ECC to SAP SRM or CRM on-premise or Solman to the SAP S4 HANA to any cloud system. Just few of the systems are mentioned here. Now, as an employee who are working on the system, they might be reading data from various sources. This source can be your Excel sheet, this source can be your PDF, this source can be your email, this source can be your web portal, this source can be your internet portal, or it third-party tool. As an employee, they should be reading some data from the source. They are doing a manual stuff on that and pushing into the SAP system or any non-SAP system as well. iRPA can read the data from any of the source, can process it and can push it in your or can post in your end system. Vice versa is also true. What I mean is iRPA can read data from any of your SAP system, can process it and can provide to maybe a third party or can provide you in terms of Excel sheets, or it can send you as an email as well. Now, after seeing this slide, you might be wondering, I have many non-SAP systems in my landscape. And here we are more talking about only SAP. Then why, whether we should I invest on iRPA or not? Because, we have been talking only about the SAP. Let me confirm you one thing. iRPA is way better compared to other competitors when it comes to SAP system, but it is equally good when it comes to non-SAP system. It provides a wide range of connectors and activities for non-SAP systems as well. So basically, you can create a bots to read data from various channels to post it in non-SAP, or maybe to read from non-SAP and post it to any other third-party system as well. Let's discuss few of the advantages what iRPA has compared to the competitors. So for first advantage, what I already discussed is it provides an out-of-box connector for SAP GUI and UI5. Maybe as an SAP, if you are using SAP ECC system, you might be aware like how complex your purchasing or sales or financial or any other transaction screens are. You have got a lot of fields over there. It is very difficult from other tools to capture those fields. Wherein iRPA provide as a native product, it provides a GUI connector through which you can easily capture those fields. It provides you a connector for SAP UI5, which is nothing but your Fiori framework. So nowadays with S4 HANA and all the advanced systems, customers are more and more using Fiori applications. So iRPA provides a connector for Fiori applications as well. Apart from that, iRPA, it provides a separate activity to call a SAP web service and a separate activity, or using COM libraries, you can call an RFC or a web programs. If you are from the technical program background, you will be able to imagine like how easy it becomes when you get a capability to call an RFC, or when you get a capability to trigger any your customized web program. So yes, iRPA provides that. On top of that, it provides an various activities to call your cloud systems as well, like SuccessFactor or SCP based application. The fifth point, this is one of the most important point among all this eight, a digital access fee. When you execute a bot built on iRPA, you there is no digital access license fee as a customer you have to pay. So just many of you would have heard what is digital access. Let me give a brief about digital access. Any non-dialogue application or any middleware or anything which is creating certain type of documents like accounting document or purchasing document or sales document or service document has to pay a digital access license to the SAP. So in that case, any other automation tool in the market other than iRPA, if you use and if you create any such document, you will have to pay a digital access license to the SAP. But with SAP iRPA, this digital access license fee you don't have to pay because it is a native SAP product. Sixth is an extensive bot store. So SAP iRPA provides 60 plus out of box built bots. So basically, you have the bots available for many of the processes. You just need to download and reuse, or probably you just need to download and change. Let's say a pre-built bot is reading data from Excel and you want from PDF, you just have to change the logic. So this kind of things can reduce your total cost of development. And seventh, we have already discussed iRPA can trigger and uh, conversational AI can trigger an bot. And eighth point is iRPA is a part of SCP family. So basically, as soon as you subscribe to iRPA, you are part of SCP family, and it becomes really easy for you to enhance your bots with other capabilities or to design any new tech or beyond it solution on SCP because it provides all the services. This is just a high level diagram which explains. You can see at the bottom there are separate different applications where you have a cloud, SAP, a PDF, an image, or a database. A bot can read data from any of these sources, can process it, and can post data back to any second source. As a user, you can trigger an unattended bot, or you can monitor all of your unattended. You can trigger attended bot, and you can monitor all the unattended bot transactions. And top part displays about the workflow. Now we will talk about few of the use cases, which you can take as a part of RPA roadmap. Let's talk about what are the common use cases for RPA strategy. So these common use cases are divided into three. You can see these are divided into, at high level, divided into three categories. The first category is extract data from any of the channel like Excel or PDF or external app and enter into your end system. Second is extract data from any SAP or non-SAP system and post it to any SAP or non-SAP system. So basically a B2B scenario. First is take a data from any channel like Excel or PDF or email and post it to your system. And third is download your data from your end system. It could be your SAP non-SAP system. Download data from multiple transactions and generate the reports and send it across your stakeholders. We have collected few of the use cases considering uh, each organization. They will have a common departments like finance or procurement or sales or project management. So we just try to collect a few of the use cases which you probably, if your organization is currently having many people doing a manual job in this areas, you can quickly think of automating those and uh, reduce manual hours and increase the productivity of employees. So let's say in finance, automatic journal entry upload or outgoing payment file, or automatic creation of down payment request, incoming file, bank statements, processing of bank statement. In procurement, upload of supplier invoice, master data automation, purchase requisition, PO confirmation, purchase order creation. In project management, automated resource planning, resource assignment, project cost rate upload, automated project creation. In sales, the use cases can be sales creation, manage sales order, manage sales inquiry, and create sales quotation. Now we will discuss in detail few of the use cases what as a company we have been receiving from our customers. Since last many months, we have been working with many customers on various use cases, and we have tried to bring 4 out of those use cases just to show all of you how you can, automate your manual task. So first use case is like, this is a very common use case which you might have in all of your organizations. Upload of bank statements. Let's say you don't have an integration with the bank. In such cases, every day as an organization, your employees, what they have to do, they have to take your bank statements. They might be receiving bank statements in the form of emails or probably from the bank portals. So employee, and we have a customer who receives close to 50 plus bank statements each day. So what their employees are doing, they are downloading from bank portal, uploading in the system. And there is another customer we have, they are receiving the multiple physical statements, wherein in SAP standard it allows a single physical having a multiple logical statements. So what employees of that organization or that customers were doing was, they used to download all the physical statements, manually merge them and upload into the system. This each in both of the organization, the employee, they invest close to 2 to 3 hours per day just to do this task, and this is a repeated task they have to do manually. So what we proposed is, we can design a bot which can download statements from your mailbox, or it can download from your bank portal if bank allows. Sometimes the banks don't allow. In such cases, we ask a customer to download the statement and put it in the common folder. A bot can read a statement from an email or from the bank portal or from a folder, can merge or can the process the statements, then bot can go to your SAP system, can enter the transaction here FF_5, can upload the statement and can send an email to the user also that the statement has been processed, and the complete manual task has been replaced by an automated unattended job which gets triggered once a day every day. The second use case also we received from one of our customers in KSA, where they used to do a manual hiring in SuccessFactors system. So what hiring manager used to do, they used to have a 10 PDFs. They have a 10 PDFs. Out of that, the main PDF, which has all the hiring data, had close to 15 to 20 pages. They used to read each and every PDF, enter the data manually for an employee while doing an hiring, because as we all aware, when an hiring is done, a lot of data is being entered in the system, starting from your personal data to organization data to educational background to family details to compensation information, and the employee has to do an attachments as well. They used to spend close to 3 to 4 hours just for a single employees, and they hire close to 5 to 7 employees per week. Now you can imagine how many hours a customer is spending just for a manual job which does not have any value. So we provided them a bot which can read all the PDFs. Now you can imagine the complexity of the PDF. There were some PDFs which had a handwritten text as well. So we designed an algorithms, and we found the made use of SAP Leonardo services to call the SAP Leonardo machine learning algorithms, which gets triggered from your bot, can extract all the information and provide, and then the bot can log into the SuccessFactors system, can fill in all the information, can do an attachment and hire. Hiring manager just has to review the data. This has increased the efficiency of and the time of hiring manager many times. The third use case, as an organization, we have built this. Uh, as Alphonse has mentioned, that we have been working with many customers. Now we are handling the basis support as well. So what our basis team currently they do is, each basis consultant has been assigned with 3 to 4 customers. They have to come to the office every day morning, log in into the customer's system. There are close to 10 to 12 transaction codes. Basis consultant has to enter this, extract the report, generate a final report, send it to the customer via email. This has to be done regularly, including weekends and holidays. And our each basis consultant is spending close to 2 to 2.5 hours every day just to do this task. What we proposed, we created a bot, a simple bot, which can just mimic the same actions. It can log in into the system, can execute all the transaction code, can download the report, and can generate an email and send it back to the customer. The bot, not only once, it can run multiple times a day. It can run on weekends or anytime. You can just think of that. And the fourth use case. So far we have been talking about SAP scenarios. Now, okay, so the previous scenario is applicable for any kind of monitoring. We built for the basis, but you can think for any kind of system monitoring, being be it SAP or non-SAP. And the fourth scenario is, we are talking about a non-SAP transaction. So far we've been talking about SAP. One of our customers, they said they have a process in which, in their CEO office, whatever attachments they get, they are entering the detail and the attachment into one of the transaction system. So that task they are doing manually. They tried to integrate it using APIs, but they could not do. They had a backlog of 5,000 plus emails for this. They had a 5,000 plus emails pending to be entered into transaction system, and they were so much scared that they are going to get an escalation from CEO office. Customer explained us this pain point, and we proposed them a bot which can, a small bot, not and again and very complex, which can just read your email, download an attachment, and create a transaction in their system. This has relieved their job, and I mean, this has relieved them a lot. So these are the 4 use cases. There are other many use cases which we have been working, but these are the use cases we try to display to make you understand how iRPA can, improvise your business functionality. Now, why iRPA is different from other competitors in the market? The first point we have already discussed, and this is like one of the strongest point, and this is the point which makes iRPA a way cost effective compared to other market products. No digital access license. So basically, if you are using an iRPA and if you are creating a financial or purchasing or time management or any document in your system, there is no digital access license you have to pay. But in case if you are using any other product, you have to pay a digital access license to the SAP, because you are making a document in the system, but you are not from the SAP family. Second is an hybrid cloud solution, wherein you can decide that your data can reside on prem. Only few of the things like a transaction details can go on cloud. Best in class integration, we discussed already about conversational AI and capabilities of calling APIs, then attended and unattended pods. So iRPA provides a complete suite where you can design your attended and unattended pod, flexible pricing with subscription or pay as a go. So basically, as I said, iRPA being a part of SAP Cloud Platform family, SAP Cloud Platform has two models, subscription and consumption-based model. So you can just take an iRPA based on subscription or consumption. We can provide more details if you need, and one integrated offering for end-to-end automation. So these are the key areas where iRPA is different from your competitors. Now, after doing this much discussion, also many times the customers are still confused. They like RPA. They are very happy with the technology, but they really don't know what to do or what are the use cases or how to find a use case. So as a car tech and as a SAP also, design thinking is one of the way as a customer you can adapt. These workshops can go from 1 to 2 weeks, wherein a consultants can work with your IT team and your business team and your end level employees to understand their pain points. We need to understand one thing here: not all the use cases are RPA use cases. Why? Let's say you are making just 10 manual transaction per month. You really don't know it RPA that, because you're going to spend more. We need to find the cases where lot of manual efforts. We need to find a department where 6 people are doing the same job every day, and we need to see if we can automate and make them more productive. So that is something we do and work out in the design thinking workshop. After that, you can work on the small POC. As Alphonse also mentioned, generally this kind of project doesn't take much time, and in fact POC kind of stuff takes only 3 to 2 weeks of sorry, POC kind of thing can only take 3 to 4 weeks to realize, and then you can go ahead with your you know actual developments. So I'll hand it over to Alphonse from here. Yeah, hi Alphonse, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Gaurav. Can you give me the presenter rights, Gaurav?
Yeah, I will just
Thank you, Gaurav. Gentlemen and
just a
ladies,
minute.
yeah, I got the presenter rights, Gaurav. Yeah, it's I think you can view my screen right now. So, gentlemen and ladies, one of the core things which Gaurav has been talking about SAP iRPA, and one of the more interesting things about SAP iRPA for me as a guy who has been working on SAP solutions for the last 5 years is that, unlike most of the products of SAP, this solution is actually cheaper than its competition. Yes, truth be told, considering the amount of value SAP iRPA is bringing in monetarily as well, iRPA is licenses are cheaper than the rest of its competition, especially if you are in the SAP ecosystem already. That being said, right now we have understood about how business is changing, what is an intelligent enterprise, how incremental digital transformation methodology is one of the most important philosophies which is taking hold of in this intelligent enterprise transformation, and how RPA and SAP iRPA in particular is one of the best tools in the market to do so. Now I'm pretty sure we have also shown you about 30 to 40 use cases on how this is helping enterprises around the globe see quick time to value and really good return on their investment. But then you would have this question: where do I start? I have these 200 different ideas already. I can imagine these 30 business processes where I have pain points, and which, if I'm a CFO and I know that if I could just free my accounts payable guy from this process, I can get so much more value out of him or her. In that scenario, one of the things which we actually do in our design thinking workshops as well is that we look at these particular factors to consider while building a use case, in terms of what are the bots you want to build and when you should develop the bots. While you can have an idea of building 100 bots over the next 3 years, you also should look into these factors to understand which are the bots you should build first and which are the bots you should build later. To put it very simply, not all bots are created equal, but some bots are more equal than others. Using these 7 factors, we would actually help you to choose which are those bots which are more equal than others. The first rule, the rule based or the versus the judgment based rules. Simply put, the more the process adheres to the process is rule based, or that it adheres to a step of process, step 1, step 2, step 3, then these are the prime candidates for RPA. As in more and more judgment comes into play, you'll need to start adding more and more AI flavors into the system, which makes the bot more complex. So the simpler bots, the first bots which you should come into play are the rule-based bots. Once that is done and you have brought in your company, or you have provided the digital maturity within, and you have made the company comfortable with the concept of bots, you can go into the more complex bots. The second factor which we look in is the complexity of the business situation. While RPA is capable of automating processes as simple as copy paste or even a typing activity to those as complex as fraud detection or accounts payable, these accounts payable, you need to choose which bots to implement first. Here, the word complex, when I say the complexity of the business solution, can be defined by the number of applicants, frequency of human intervention, or the steps required to execute the task. If there's 200 steps required to execute the task, hey, then that is a highly complex task. While automating these complex tasks, that's where the first, many times when I've had these conversations with CIOs or especially CFOs, their thought process immediately goes into automating the most complex activities which they have, because that is where you have the greater impact on your company's operations. But these processes are more difficult to automate, as well as the change management part is also very difficult here. So we normally tell our CFOs and the really excited CIOs that, hey, you first automate your simpler processes. You still have your purchase order process which can be automated before you go start automating your fraud detection part. By automating the smaller bots first, you also give the trust, build trust within the system, build trust to your board of directors that yes, this is a good solution to invest in, and that we will see good ROI about it. The third factor we always look at while choosing which is the best business processes for building bots is the amount of volume which comes in and the handling time. The higher the volume of data input, the higher the need for automation, because it really takes up loads of your time if you're going to input 300 or 400 sales orders or the data entries into the system. Most businesses get a high volume of these of orders, requests, and complaints around the clock. Nowadays, businesses run around the clock. But all these particular requests and orders and compliance requests have a specific SLA attached to it. But all these SLAs are constrained by the presence of a human being. Unlike a human employee, RPA is available 24/7. So whatever be the volume and whatever be the handling time, RPA, this bot is there to help you. High volume and unpredictable handling times are two important parameters to check while choosing your RPA use case. Number 4 is the percentage of error rates. The processes which involve a huge error rate are some of the prime candidates for RPA automation. Let me give you an interesting story here. In this, there are two factors here. Either there's a huge amount of volume of data coming in that the person or who's doing that particular job will just push off entering the data, or if they are compelled to do it, since it is such tedious activity, the presence of errors in these kind of data inputs is actually pretty high. You need to be cognizant of the fact that higher the clerical work, the higher will be the percentage of error rates in the system. So you need to look at these factors while choosing the best processes. Number 5, it is the frequency to change in terms of processes and applications. RPA bots are only built for stable processes. There are some processes which will not be changed for at least 3 to 4 years, while some processes are changed every few months. RPA bots are to be built only for processes which are pretty constant, at least which the yardstick we give is for at least 2 to 3 years, this particular process will not change. Then investment on building this RPA tool makes sense. Number 6, frequency of rekeying and collation of data. Processes which are composed mainly of copy and paste of information from one system to another, or data validation, which is basically comparing of data from one application to another, would benefit greatly from automation as well as increased employee satisfaction. Our employees will be much more happier if they are not asked to do this rote work, right? Since these processes which are automating are very clerical, time consuming, prone to errors, and frankly not very fulfilling to do. It's more fulfilling for me when I go as a sales guy, I go out there and close orders rather than sitting and inputting data into a CRM. Finally, compliance strategies and outsourcing parameters. Think about enterprises in the life sciences space, in the banking space, and in the healthcare space. Their data is governed by incredible security. I've seen outsourced development centers run by business process BPO firms here in India, wherein the security is so tight that you need to leave your mobiles out whilst entering into your ODC, because the data should be that secure. But then some companies are even worried that this BPO outsourcing, even with such and secure ODC or the outsourced development center, is still compromising their security. And now with the COVID pandemic coming into place and the complete methodology of how we work, with most of us working from home coming into place, security is on top of the mind of most CIOs. In this case, and most of the BPO based activities, firms, instead of outsourcing it to BPOs, if they could build RPAs or bots, they could actually do all these activities within their premises, within the HR. Because as Gaurav explained to you earlier, these bots are present in your system, in your location. So your data does not leave your location. The bot sits in your place and the bot runs and takes in the data and puts it within your system as well. So these kind of industries such as banking, life sciences, healthcare have high amounts of regulatory compliance. This kind of security, as I already explained, is difficult to achieve and maintain with offshoring, especially in the current scenario. As an alternative to offshoring, RPA allows businesses to use robots to automate so that these businesses can focus on their core competency, thereby bringing in better shareholder value. And these, my friends, is some of the ways by which or factors by which we look into to choose the correct business process. I know there was one of the queries where Mr. Ashish Singh had actually requested, how is that, do you choose a business case? How is that, do you start from a business, do you start from where do I start? This is how you start. This is how you actually answer the question. This being said, this slide brings us to the end of the webinar. If you have any more queries, please put them in the query box, and I think Gaurav, already a few has been assigned to you, so you can start answering them. And if you have a request for demo, you can always ping me, or if you have any more questions to answer, you can always ping me at salphones@cartech.com. This being said, over to you, Gaurav. Please answer some of the queries which has been assigned to you. And gentlemen and
Sure,
ladies, thank you
Alphonse.
for being a part of this webinar. Now we move to the Q&A session. Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you, Alphonse. So I see one of the queries from Mr. Douglas is that iRPA works in both the ways. Can gather a data from non-SAP and read that data into SAP. Yes, Mr. Douglas, you are right. iRPA can gather a data from non-SAP, post it to SAP, can gather a data from SAP and post it to non-SAP. It works in both the ways. Then one of the queries about is the desktop studio is or orchestrator is a licensed? No. iRPA billing is completely based on the bot runs. For every 1,000 transaction run, SAP or bot runs, SAP charges some money. That is how iRPA billing works. There is no cost for orchestrator or our desktop studio. Any other questions? I see only these questions. Alphonse, do you have any questions in your box?
Yes, I have one query. Mr. Douglas Herman had actually shared that it is surprising that you started your presentation by saying a process can be developed in 2 weeks. why, and that multi-million transformation projects are not happening, but you only want to develop a bot process where it will be the same for 2 to 3 years. Well, sir, that is actually a very interesting question. Yes, we did say in the beginning that one of the reasons why multi-year digital transformation projects are not happening is because companies do not want to wait for such a long time to see results because the capital outlay is too high. But that being said, the bot implementation timeline will take maximum 2 to 3 weeks. But the bots to be built on are built on stable processes. For example, not all the processes in your firm change every week, right? But the capital outlay for a big bang digital transformation project takes years to see the ROI. What we are suggesting here is some of your processes, especially in your finance department or your HR, your employee onboarding process or your customer onboarding process, these remain pretty constant throughout the ages for most companies. These processes can actually be automated within 2 to 3 weeks, which in this incremental digital transformation philosophy is what is which this incremental digital transformation philosophy is trying to achieve, rather than the big bang where we have a 3-year roadmap and you will see this output happening after 3 years. Well, no, it might no longer be a problem. Your problem might be you would have fallen sales. What our process does is we take these immediate problems and give you immediate answers within a quarter or two. That is one of the queries from my end. I think I already answered the query from Mr. Ashley Singh on the digital trial, how to choose use cases. Those are the two queries from my end. I think we do have some more queries, and is there any more queries which has been assigned to you, Gaurav?
No, Alphonse, I don't see. But what I would request to all the attendees is, if still you have queries, you can always send an email to us. Uh, I think already the email address has been sent to you. You can send your queries over there. We would be happy to address all those queries.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was great having you as part of this webinar. Thank you for being part of uh, being with us this last 1.5 hours, and it was great sharing our insights with you. Thank you all, and have a great day, and most importantly, stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.